Hey there, I'm Trevor Houston, the creator of the Who You Know Summit, and I'd like to welcome you to the Who You Know Job Networking Show.
On our program, we'd like to show you a job search like you've never seen.
Everything from getting noticed by employers, how to properly format your resume, and how to network effectively using LinkedIn to drive recruiters to your profile.
We even take suggestions from our amazing community.
So if you want to learn all things job search, go ahead and subscribe now.
Focus. It's all about the job search. So if you want to learn how to land that next success, you heard them. All you got to do is subscribe and ring that bell so you don't miss out on a thing. Welcome back to the Who You Know Job Networking Show, where what you know is important, but
Who you know?
who you know?
Who you know can make all the difference in your job
Can
search.
you wrap around there and grab that?
Wrap
Wrap with your arm right there. Yep. All right, I wanted to give. I didn't have another here. I wanted to give that to y'all. I think this one's for you though.
I'll give it to Rob.
No, I think that one's for you.
It's a girl one?
It's mint.
It's pretty.
mint.
Oh.
Mint, go ahead, open it
Thank
up.
you. I will.
Open that up.
Oh,
It's
thank
mint.
you.
I didn't have another color. I'd have got you one too.
That is fine.
We share.
This is very,
Yeah.
he'll end up using it.
I'll put it in the
Wow,
box.
look at that.
yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Oh,
That's a share deal there.
Yeah, y'all can
Look
share
at that.
That's
I
beautiful.
don't know, Robert.
It's
That
so
look a
pretty.
little flirtatious, baby.
I'm so excited. Thank you. That was so kind. Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank
Thank
you.
you so much.
So you guys saw on the commercial break, you saw some of the imaging in the video for Technology Prayer Breakfast. So we're excited to have you guys come join us. For those lucky winners, we're super excited for you.
And even if you didn't win, check it out. If you can register, attend. It is a fantastic event.
Well, we'll be
That's a
playing it
fantastic
online.
event.
Yeah, and we need volunteers. And so every year, this is our 8th year. And it's done by a small handful of volunteers, and it's a lot of work. So come take a small portion of the work, get involved as a volunteer. It's if we get a lot of hands doing it, it'll make it easy.
You guys will be surprised what you hear and see at that event.
Yes.
Yeah, and I mean, there's a lot of people that are involved that have been part of the Career Transition Network. Joe Garza, hey Joe Garza, tag Joe
Yep.
Garza, Curry Nichols. Curry Nichols has always been there. Matt Harrington at Matrix
Matt
is still
Harrington.
involved.
Do our Transition Point Ministry.
Transition Point Ministry, yes.
They're one of your
So,
sponsors.
guys, make sure that you plug into the DFW Technology Prayer Breakfast.
We got Steve Helms is saying text prayer to 77513.
Should have said that. He's going to give me a heck for
There
it.
you go.
Why don't you go ahead and tell them what that's all about?
Post it. We have a texting campaign. So text prayer to 77513. And we don't blow up your phone with a bunch of stuff, but it helps you know when our meetings are. We meet once a month. We'll invite you to Transition Point. We'll let you know when the event's coming up. But yeah, I was supposed to say that.
Do you want to tell them what Transition Point is?
Transition Point is a ministry started by Matt Harrington from Matrix Resources. Matt's been on our planning team for years. Great guy. And he works in the tech industry doing staffing. And so Matt had it on his heart to help people in transition. There's a lot of groups like yours out there doing great work. We didn't want to add to that, but we wanted to bring it where we're coming together in prayer. And we're really encouraging you from your faith perspective. And not everyone who goes to these networking things shares the same faith in Christ. So we wanted to be really bold about that we want to be there for you as you stand firm in the Lord. So Matt started that about a year ago, I guess. And it's been awesome. And right now we're doing it online, but we'll get back to meeting in person soon. But look up Transition Point on LinkedIn. And
Transition Point's awesome, you guys.
Yeah, it's a great meeting. I think they can even go on our website. I think I've got some. They got my.
They're linked from your website.
Yep, they are.
Andy Cook and I post the information for that same event when it pops up each month.
Cool. Thank you.
How have you seen the DFW Technology Prayer Breakfast grow over these years? And what are some of the changes or things that maybe successes that people have maybe gotten from that?
It's totally how God's had his hand on it, because the first year we didn't know what we were doing. We laughed because we did it. We had like 250 people show up, and we rented a room at the Irving Convention Center. We're thinking we're going to go so bust on this, but some random company gave us money to host it and just donated it to us out of the blue that God provided. And then we had the first event, 250 people showed up. They said, "This is the best thing ever." We're like, "Really?" And then every year it just grew and grew. And so we're all volunteers, and none of us really knew exactly what we were doing. But God was so kind, and we had great speakers. If you're in the tech world, we had the CEO of VMware, And then the VP at VMware, Sanjay Poonen, great guy.
Sanjay.
Yeah, super neat man. And they're both sharing their stories. And then Onyeka Nchege from used to be with Interstate Batteries. He was the CIO there, and he spoke one year. Cheryl Batchelder from Popeye's Chicken, the CEO. She wrote a great book. If you haven't read it, it's called Dare to Serve. And Dare to Serve is a great book.
Yeah, it is.
It actually in the back tells you how to write up your personal purpose in life, which is I love. But Cheryl was our speaker one year. I just called her up off LinkedIn, and she's like, okay. It was like totally rad.
Nice.
Just showed up.
We've
Yeah.
gone now 1,000 people. The number's really not important, but really what we want to do is be there for people. And to us, it's a catalyst for building community. So this year, our focus is on nurturing relationships because our mission is to build a relevant business environment where people can come together and hear about a relationship with Christ and it be nurtured. And we don't have the capacity to nurture it all year long because it's only like a few of us doing all the work. Just getting the yearly event done.
That's the way it is.
So if we get more volunteers, we'd love to do a mentoring program that's been on my heart for a while. Well, who's going to run it? Just coordinating the people is a big task. And I always want to bite off more than I can chew, and then I feel like, well, then now I get stressed because I got to deliver. And we just had our first panel event a few weeks ago where we had different people come together and share how are they dealing with their career through COVID. And so relevant and yet still focused on our faith. And we're trying to bring things that we hope are going to nurture our community, but we need help.
You know, Norm Miller built Interstate Batteries on that same platform. Have you ever met Norm?
I have. I met him when he was at
dude.
I Am Second. You know, he started that ministry.
Yes, he did.
A lot of people don't
Norm, if you're listening,
He knows what that means.
Norm, you're listening, you owe me $5.
Well, I find it very,
I think you
very
do owe me
interesting
$5.
that in when you think about the community, right? And so when you have a community like the Job Network, the Career Search Network, and people that are getting help and resources, where are those resources coming from? I want you guys to look at that. Look at where the resources are coming from. And you'll see a major theme is that they're coming from, in most part, a lot of faith-based organizations. And that's who's giving back. That's who's reaching out and helping you reach up, right? And so I think that, look, there's a lot to that. And there may be some people that aren't believers here in our audience. And we're not saying you have to believe what we believe, but look at this theme. I want you to ask yourself, like, who is committed and dedicated to making an impact in the community right now?
The church.
In this community.
being there from the very inception of the CSN, you know I had to say something about the CSN. Guys, every one of our leaders were not chosen. They rose up. The spirit in them rose up to the top. It was identified by somebody, and they're running the network now. There's over 100 of them.
So, Kathy, I want to switch gears a little bit, and I want to put some spotlight on you for a second.
Okay.
She's like, all right,
Bring
let's
it.
go.
Okay.
All right, so you left a career in dentistry,
Yep.
right? To come on board to the Renaissance Executive Forums. Talk to me about that.
Well, it was a lovely career. I loved it. It was fun. But with Robert's job changing and getting more momentum, it was an opportunity to leave, which I was already kind of getting burned out. I was already probably done the most I can do. 35 years is a long time. In dentistry, things change all the time.
Wow.
But it was a wonderful career. But what I was doing pretty much is what I could do for him. So why not work with Robert and his business? But he's allowed me to join it and work that hard together. And he has such a passion. I love watching him work. So when he was doing his meetings, I was sad because I love seeing him in his element. He's so good and he's so helpful. And the members in his group are so amazing. I just love being around him. So it was a wonderful opportunity to be able to take maybe what I've learned. He's definitely training me, but I already had a passion because I love the members in our group. They're so kind, and their wives and their families. So why not be invested in that and have my time with we could be together. Plus I get to be with him. He's awesome at what he does. He really is. So
It was a big risk, though. This is probably something when you think about when you're in job transition is don't hold on to what you've only known, because there's so many cool things out there. She's run businesses. She's been the right-hand man of the people who ran that business forever. She's trustworthy. She knows how to work with customers. She's very organized. She's bringing that to my business now, or our business. I've actually made her the primary owner. She owns 51%. And that way, if I...
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But she's going to be the business manager. She's going to run the business, which will free me up to just do what I love doing, which is meeting with business owners and CEOs and just being with them. But when you have to go back and do paperwork and organize things and coordinate things and send 100 emails to get people to show up for events and just all that stuff, you know how it is. You know, it just wears you out. So
I like
Kathy
it.
leading
I
that
like
is
that.
going to be a huge
Me
lesson.
too, Kat.
Plus, they all love her. And her first week, she's like, "Oh, this person's anniversary. We should send a card." I'm like, "A card? That's a great idea." And she's writing down notes of who we're going to pray for when they share stuff. And I don't have I'm in the work mode. And someone's sharing something. She's like, "We should pray for that person." And that brings another side of compassion.
Yes.
That I become work mode oriented and I forget about the human side sometimes. She reminds me of that, and she's bringing that up to a better level. It's going to be a beautiful business.
I love that. As a matter of fact, like my wife and I have talked about her helping me come into our business, at least take over a lot of the administrative.
I have a book.
Please.
But
I have a book
yeah,
she may
my fear is
read.
that she would fire me.
Yeah.
You need smarter than Mark.
but that's awesome that you guys are playing on each other's strengths, and I mean, you know, your passion to get out, and then you know your skill set and passion to really have things organized. And
Yeah, or just be able to help out, because I would ask him, "Tell me about your day," and he's already exhausted. But now I get to know about it. So,
Well, that's the other part. I can't share anything because everything I talk about with business owners is private. So when she's in the meetings now and she's part of that trusted circle, she can hear and she can be a part of it. And so I don't have to keep things from her anymore
There you
because
go.
that was always a big deal. I couldn't share stuff. And now she's there. She's in the meeting. She knows the people. She's part of it. It's pretty freeing.
yeah, that's awesome.
he'd be very guarded. I'm like, "How was?" He'd be like, "Oh."
How was your day, right? And you're
But it was
like,
good. Well, you know, yeah. So I'm like, what does that mean? But
Yeah.
but it's nice to be able to see him be able to do what he does best, and then I get to see him and watch it, and then also get to pray over it and be a part of it. It's awesome. It doesn't mean we don't have our. It's hard to compartmentalize what I am and as a wife, as a worker, but he's pretty amazing.
good.
So
You're also expanding too, or have some vision to expand.
That
you
is
want
our-
to talk to you about
yeah.
that real quick?
go ahead. Well,
That's your job. You're supposed to find it. We're going to add another forum group leader.
That's what we want for
I'm maxed
21.
out. There's only so many hours I can
Yep.
give to people each week. And so freeing up to do the work and the paperwork is going to take a big chunk of that off. But we have a desire to influence more leaders, and I can only do so much. And so I'm looking for that next forum group leader, someone who shares my faith in Christ, someone who loves to pour into other people, someone who genuinely understands business and the responsibilities of a CEO or business owner. Either they've built and sold their business, or they've been a part of a team where they've been part of that to understand the business challenges. Someone who wants to be a part of that journey is going to come and be a part of our business. And then we can really get a lot of things done, because doing it all by yourself is a heavy lift. But having other people, it's a synergistic model. It just scales a lot quicker.
Yeah. You know what I've noticed? Started in 2020 on a more exponential type of basis. But guys, you know, I'm all up in y'all's Kool-Aid. I get a chance to live vicariously through many, many job seekers. Right, Foster? What do? I don't know. But we're going to pray about it. So what happens is a lot of people that don't get hired start to realize that they have something inside of them that's growing, and it has been kind of tickling us all through our corporate careers, you know. And then we realize that, well, maybe we can retire, but are we really retiring, or is God releasing us to be able to do what He put us here to do? That's my story. I am a servant. I have always been a servant. I will always be a servant, guys. I'm glad that you guys call me the job father and all that kind of stuff. That's great. But my job is to serve you guys.
Right.
And the only way you can really chase some other opportunities is if you free yourself up from the things that keep you from being obedient to God. And when you have a
Right.
big debt problem, or when you're so stuck in a lifestyle that you won't be willing to give that stuff up, then you really can't be used by God. And you're like this much of what you could experience, but when we let go of that stuff that we felt was so necessary and became completely willing to do whatever God wanted, He opened the doors way more than we ever would imagine. So if you're stuck in your job search and you can't think that you want to, how would I ever do this? How would I do it? I couldn't afford to do that. I hear that a lot. Well, I couldn't afford to take that job. Change what it costs to live. Then you could afford it. You could take something you really love. Maybe you want to work at a guitar place, or you want to do some painting or whatever. Take a job you love. Just change your lifestyle. If your lifestyle is up here, so you need a job up here, but you hate it, what's the point?
I love what you're saying.
Hard to do.
So a few episodes ago, we had Grant Cardone come on the show, and it went a little bit sideways. Like some people don't like his edginess. He's very edgy, and he talked about, I asked him, what would you do if you were at the top and hit the bottom? What would you do? And he basically said, I'd go to zero. I'd take it down to zero. And it came off the way he said it a little bit like harsh, like with maybe not enough empathy in the way he said it, the delivery. But basically he was saying what you're saying, which is you may need to change your lifestyle. You may need to change things up. Like you may need to go to zero, right? You may need to get rid of that house, get rid of that car, get rid of the thing. Right?
It's hard because these are things that we think we're supposed to have, right? Mm-hmm. You are successful if you have this. You are successful. Right.
Wasn't my choice, but God gave me the gift of a brain aneurysm
the gift.
in 2001. And y'all, when I say that was a gift, I am not kidding.
Okay.
That was one of the most wonderful things that happened. Wasn't too fun at that time,
right,
back in 01, but 01 was one whale of a year.
20 years ago.
20 years ago.
All right, before we run out of time, I want to just ask, you guys know that our audience is primarily people that are looking for their next successful position. A lot of them are discouraged. Do you have some uplifting words that you could share with them?
Aluminum.
Aluminum.
It's a good word.
Yeah.
No,
I like
that.
Or a dad joke. We had a call out.
You had a request.
I would never follow you on dad jokes. That would be ridiculous. I think that the reason I wanted Kathy to be here when you guys were kind enough to let me come on the show, I needed Kathy to be here because it's not me telling my story, it's us and our story. I could not have done that if Kathy didn't say yes. If Kathy and James had said, we like this house, we don't want to move, I don't know what I would have done. I have friends who said, when I tell my story, they go, oh, my wife would never do that. Or my husband would never do that. Or we'd never change. How sad. And so I think the thing that is my passion, the few words is, don't let anything get between you and where you know God wants you to be. Because it's so much better on the other side. And we're modeling that, we're following that, we're learning through that. And the peace that we have as a family is unbelievable. Just don't let anything cause anxiety. I still run into people all the time who are in between jobs, and I meet with them. And I can't give them a job. I can share some of my stuff and talk about things I might know, maybe introduce them to someone. But I can tell them, maybe you need to reevaluate how you focus your life. And I did. So I'm not speaking out of something I think you should do.
Right.
I did it. It was hard.
We fought it. We fought it.
And too.
Right. Yeah. So for an encouraging word, I would say be alone and be still. We are so busy with our phone and we're so distracted. And if I had this, but just don't keep our mind on. If you really just be honest with yourself, I really think you'll find that peace and you'll say, what am I fighting? I'm fighting against something. Or, I'm not going to get rid of this. And then that motivates you. What your motivation will make you make that decision. So thankfully, I had a husband that I believed in who was able to say, this is what we have to do, but we're going to be doing this. And that's all it took because I believe in him. It would be very difficult and it is discouraging at times. But on the other hand, I have to ask myself, what if we didn't have a great 2020, right? Because we did. Even if we didn't, I would not be upset where we are. I would not regret what we did because of the joy, of the peace, and your health, and our family is still intact. The things that matter the most to me is when I had to be alone, write it down, what was the most important thing. That's where that peace comes in because it's going to creep in. It's going to creep in and say, I want this or want it. How come?
I love what you're saying. You got gratitude and you got go to the quiet place, right? Get still, get quiet. A lot of times we're always asking for things, but are we listening for the answers? Right? You're always constantly, God, give me this, give me this, give me this. But are you, gimme, gimme, gimme? It's like a kid.
Right?
Right? Your kids come up, gimme, gimme, gimme. I want candy. I want candy. Like, gimme, gimme, gimme. Right? Like,
yes.
Oh, man, I was going to share.
And that's what we do as people.
Yeah.
That's what we do as people. I bet God's up there like, time out. Take a time out. Take a time out.
I want to ask.
Here's your iPad.
I want to ask our audience to do something. I want everybody that will, guys, go read Isaiah 26 in verse 3. Period. You'll be surprised.
I love it.
The peace that
Uplifting.
passes all understanding. Who's understanding?
It's hard. We fight it. I mean, we're in a busy, trying to be busy,
Yep.
looking, how dare you take a moment, but in that stillness is when you can hear.
Yeah, 100%. Yes, I love that. I'm gonna give you a mic drop for that one.
Oh,
Ooh, yeah.
Kathy got a mic drop. Woo!
Kathy was about to throw the real
I
mic.
know.
She's like,
Yep,
all right,
we're good.
guys. Well, we're running a little bit over time, but I want to go to the audience real quick before we leave out of here. I want to just give some shout outs. I see Stacy,
Lord, that's a nice
Christina Matthews, Meg Rose, Cindy Henry.
Cindy landed a job. She
Cindy.
is our prayer warrior.
That's awesome. So
Cindy.
great.
Cindy is a prayer
Look at
warrior
that.
of this network, probably.
These were from Cindy, right?
That's from Cindy.
Hey,
yes.
Cindy, this one's for you.
Did I eat the
Man,
only,
it's a 2-donut show.
Did I eat the only popo
a
donut?
3-donut
No, I
show.
think
I
that's
don't
3.
see any
Oh,
more.
man.
But it doesn't matter. There's look how many are left.
2.5.
Hey.
2.5.
The other one touched the phone.
Look, I love you, Cindy. Appreciate you.
They are good.
Cindy, you only put one popo donut in there. I'm looking for another one.
All right,
Hence
guys.
the name.
That's the show.
It's all
It's
about
all about
Who you
know.
know.
Bye.
Trevor Houston here, and I want to thank you for tuning in to the Who You Know Job Networking Show. We hope you've been inspired, encouraged, educated, and entertained all at the same time. For information on our different events, workshops, partners, or partnership opportunities available, check out whoyouknow.show for more details. And be on the lookout for our new mobile app coming soon. You never know how this show could help someone you know. And if we've made an impact or put a smile on your face today, don't forget to hit that share button on your way out. Until next week, it's all about who you know. Bye.